It's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet the faux fur trimmed headband. The neat thing about this headband is you can make it as wide as you want to, and you can adjust the size around for any size head. Now we'll talk more about that when we get a little farther on in the video. And you can find this free crochet pattern on my blog, and I'll put that link down in the notes underneath this video. To make one of these headbands, you need some medium weight number 4 acrylic yarn, and I'm going to be using this beige color for my demonstration today. And then you also need some fun fur or faux fur for the trim, and this is what I'm going to be using for today's demonstration. Now on this one I used just a fuzzy yarn so that it looked a little bit like snow, and this one I used tinsel yarn. This was purchased at Hobby Lobby, and this one was purchased at Michael's. So there's lots of options for trimming your headbands. We're going to be stitching today with our H-hook for both the headband and the trim. We'll be using an H-hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a pair of scissors, and then you'll also need a needle just for weaving in those ends. The headband that we're making is going to be about 3 inches across. Now, the way the pattern works is 2 stitches or 2 chains equal 1 inch. If you want to make your headband wider, remember to add 2 chains per inch. We're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 7 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to place a half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So yarn over, go in that second chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. And we'll place 1 half double crochet in each of the chains across. And because we started in the second chain from the hook, we're going to have 6 half double crochets. So 2 half double crochets equal approximately 1 inch. And again, that might change depending on how tightly you stitch. But that's how you can adjust it if you want to make it wider. Add 2 chains per inch. Chain 1 and turn. Our chain 1 does not count as a stitch. It's merely a turning chain. And we're going to place 1 half double crochet in each of those 6 half double crochets. Chain 1 and turn. To adjust the length of your headband, 2 rows equal approximately 1 inch. The pattern is written for a 22-inch head. And so we need to do 44 rows because 2 rows equal 1 inch. And so since I'm making this for a 22-inch head, I need to stitch 44 rows of 1 half double crochet in each of the half double crochets across, chain 1 and turn and repeat. And each row will have 6 half double crochets unless you added more for a wider headband. So we're going to repeat 1 half double crochet in each, half double crochet across, chain 1 and turn through 44 rows for a 22-inch head. I've completed my 44 rows for my 22-inch headband. And now I'm going to put my 2 ends together to make my headband. I'm going to go through the stitch here and across the stitch here and stitch a slip stitch. And we'll have 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that last one in there. There we go. And 6. We'll go ahead and cut our yarn. And I like to go ahead and take a minute here and weave my ends in. You can do it later if you want to. I like to just go ahead and get it done. I'm just going to weave those in. Then I don't have to worry about it later. There's one end, and then I'll do the other. So something that I have learned is that the faux fur or fun fur type yarns work better when you stitch them on the back side. And what I mean by that is this is where we stitched our headband together. So this is the back side of our headband and this is the front. And so I'm going to go in that first stitch. I'm going to pull in my fun fur or my faux fur. And I'm going to be stitching on the back side. And I'm going to place a stitch in the side of each of those rows. And it's real important here, I'm stitching single crochets. And it's real important that you don't stitch too tightly because you don't want to take out your stretch and not have your headband fit nicely. Alright, so I've made a few stitches and this is the back side, and when you look on the front side it looks a lot better. And of course you can fluff it out, but it looks a lot better when you stitch from the wrong side. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Now, if you have a little trouble stitching too tightly, you can stitch a chain 1 between your stitches in order to keep that stretch, because you don't want to lose the stretch of your headband. Alright, so if you are stitching too tightly, you can put a chain 1 between each of your single crochets. I'm stitching pretty loosely, so I'm not really worried about it, and you can test it out and make sure you've got some stretch in there. So basically what we're doing is stitching 1 single crochet in the end of each row with our fun fur or faux fur. And we're going to stitch all the way around and meet back over here. 1 single crochet in the end of each row. I've stitched all the way around I've joined to my first single crochet, and when you get here, don't cut your fun fur. We're going to slip stitch across that seam on the inside, and I like to do it this way because this way we don't have to do any weaving in at this point, because we're going to do another row of the fur on the other side. So I'm just slip stitching across that seam where we join together. I'm going to make a little chain 1 there, and then I'm going to repeat on this side what I did on the other side. So we're just going to stitch single crochets in the ends of each of the rows, just like we did on the other side. Alright, so we stitched all the way around, then we slip stitched across, and now we're going to continue stitching those single crochets all the way around on this other side. And remember, if you're stitching too tight, you can add a chain 1 between your single crochets so you don't lose the stretch of your headband. So I'm going to continue on around, single crochets in the end of each of the rows till I meet back here where I started on this side. I've completed this second side. Now I'm going to cut my yarn and weave that in. And the fun fur or the faux fur can be just a little bit challenging when it comes to weaving in. And that's why when we finished the first row, I didn't want to have to worry about weaving that in, and we just slip stitched across that seam, and now I just have this one that I have to weave in. Now this is the back side, so we're going to turn it over, and this is the way that it should look. Isn't that pretty? So here is the headband we just completed. And of course the blue one with the white and the white with the tinsel trim. And so there are lots of possibilities for different types of fun fur and faux fur that you can trim these with, and you can get a different look by changing out the fun fur and of course the colors. And it's a super easy pattern.